in this module we will study the Gondali Paddhati, the Perini, the Shuddha Vidhi in dance. From Vishnu Dharmottara Purana to Manasollasa, the descriptions of Desi, Lasyangas, the dances have started coming. They are describing the regional varieties, some of them we call folk today and some we call classical. Sangeet Ratnakara becomes one of the most important grantha, treatise in this area of touching to the different parts of the Indian subcontinent. Here Sharangdeva describes Shuddha Paddhati of dance, the Perini, on the dance on pot, and the Gondali Vidhi. So many varieties which are maybe known today in different regions of Andhra, Karnataka and so forth are given descriptions along with the Lasyangas. So, these are important modules for the development and growth of the art of dance.
Namaste. Hello students. We shall now talk about Perini, Perini Paddhati, Gondali Vidhi, Shuddha Paddhati. These are all exclusive concepts and practices which have been described in the Sangeet Ratnakara. Vishnu Dharmottara Purana is encyclopedic in nature. For your information, it is considered as a supplement to the Vishnu Purana and included in the list of 18 Upapuranas. It mainly has chapters dedicated to dramaturgy, dance, vocal and instrumental music. That's what makes it very relevant to our discussion on Natyashastra or Sangeet Ratnakara. The evidence in the texts in the medieval times shows that there was a shift from Bharata's Marga to the Deshi variations. Not only the techniques became augmented as dance evolved, but the role of the dancer using her body aesthetically and imaginatively in creative movement, using time and space effectively, was getting emphasized, with a new look at the communicative and the expressive roles. From rules which were given emerged the scope of blurring these rigid lines and instead blending them cohesively. Manasollasa of Someshwara with Deshi Karanas, Parshvadeva's Sangeeta Samayasara with Deshi dances, most systematic and complete Deshi account in Sangeet Ratnakara, and then Nritta Ratnavali with further elaboration by Jayasenapati became popular medieval texts. Pundarika Vittala's Nartana Nirnaya gave newer styles closer to present traditions. Having given this overview, I shall now talk about what Sharangdeva has given regarding these Deshi Paddhatis. He has given a format clearly designed as a modelled tradition called a Deshi Paddhati. Paddhati is the term that stands for practice, pathway or style. The sage Kohala is said to be a great exponent of Deshi dance, and his Uttara Tantra has been mentioned in the Natyashastra as that treatise which will open up further doorways, which will be principally rooted in tradition but evolved as times pass by through the centuries. Natya, being the ocean, will certainly pave the way for the rivers and the tributaries to flow. The commentators on Sangeet Ratnakara have mentioned that the typicalities of Deshi dance has not been expounded by the Bharata school. For that matter, Nataraja, deified as the Lord of Dance, inscriptions on some sculptures reveal Deshi word, the cosmic creator, sustainer and dissolver, flashed into the creative minds as late as the times of the Kashmir Shaivas and the Shaiva Siddhantas. Hence, it is only obvious that his dance on Ananda Tandava is not mentioned among the Karanas of the Natyashastra. In order to understand the Paddatis like Gaundali or Perani, which will be dealt later, it is necessary to be aware of the terminologies dealing with music styles used by Sharangadeva extensively in Nartanadhyaya. For example, Nibaddha and Anibaddha Gita would roughly be translated as bound and unbound respectively. And the Natyashastra explains that the former is governed by Chandas and Tala, while the latter is not. Sharangadeva in his 4th chapter has said that singing is of 2 types, one that is composed of parts or angas and elements or dhatus, and the other which is free from any structure. Thus, Anibaddha would be free flowing, unrestricted by tala or sahitya or word meaning. Nibaddha is a pre-composed structured composition with meter, rhythm and word meaning like a kriti. Sharangadeva gives them 3 divisions of Prabandha, Vastu and Rupaka. Salagasudha, that is set to Deshi ragas, considered pseudo-classical yet refined, became a popular Prabandha, simpler in structure with 3 elements of Udgraha, Dhruva and Abhoga. Melapaka is the uniting link between Dhruva and Udgraha and contains Alamkaras. Dhruva is the main body of the song, refrain that is repeated, and Abhoga is the conclusion. In the context of Natyashastra, Dhruva meant stage songs, an integral part of Sanskrit theatre, with a stable nature in its pada or words, varna or syllables, and chandas or meter. Please refer students to the shlokas 1260 to 1273, where the pure style or Shuddha Paddhati has been described. Sharangadeva, veritably a musical genius, goes on to give a beautiful presentation of the pure style to be followed by the dancers. This reveals the writer's knowledge of the traditional dance forms and broad-minded attitude to flow with the tidal changes that occur from time to time. Having given due place to the chief guest or the guest of honor and offering a welcome to him to take his seat, the actual performance would start. The chief invitee takes his seat along with those learned in music and dancing. The members of the troupe enter the stage and, standing together, harmonize the various instruments by matching their tonal quality, like in modern times when we do the acoustic testing of the troupe. It is important that their minds are single pointed, devoted to the purpose of achieving maximum ovation, recommends the writer. They play the Melapaka Prabandha and the Gajara. The dancer, as is the practice even today, takes a position behind the Yavanika or curtain, waiting for the cue given by the musicians to make her dramatic entry. She should take flowers in her folded hands and stand, taking a posture as Thanaka, which has Saushtava, or the one with a straight back, firm shoulder, head held in a mark of perfect balance. The Upashama begins, the curtain opens up, and the dancer enters the stage, capturing the hearts of the audience. When the players are playing instrumental compositions like the Upashama, she should offer a handful of flowers at the center of the stage, making a semicircular movement to the Lord. Since the dancer is believed to be performing mainly for the gods and then for the spectators as per the Shastra, she should dance full of joy, employing the Nrittangas, accompanied by the playing of the Upashama. This invocatory dance is bereft of any other expressive element except exuberation, which is demonstrated by these Nrittangas. While the Pada, Ota, Kavita, Malapa, Avatsaka, Rigoni and Tuduka compositions are being played in their complete aesthetic manner and in a predetermined or any suitable order composed, the dance should be performed on the left and the right, Vishamanga, or forward Samanga, or both, catering to all 3 directions. After this, the dancer must appear again and perform the 3 types of dance when the pure prabandhas are being sung in any order as per one's choice. Alternately, if at the end of the gajara the upashama is not played, the dancer must enter at the beginning of the gajara itself. This is the view of the experts. This method, as explained, is popularly called parividhi by the local people. Taking notice of the view of others, the writer says that the playing of the samahasta, which is explained in Vadyadhyaya, must be before the entry of the dancer. According to them, the entry is made always in the posture with feet aligned together at the same level, that is samapada posture, and with proper shaushtava, while patas like samahasta are being played. Some of the erudite scholars say that the songs and the mukhavadya must be employed separately, while others recommend them in combination. Gaundali Vidhi is taken in shlokas 1272 to 1301. Perhaps no other text gives such a pan-Indian detailed dictum on the additional forms of Deshi dances that have evolved in various parts of the country, practiced by people irrespective of language, regional or cultural barriers. There are people belonging to various pockets in the remotest parts who still religiously follow these practices, and whom the classical Puritans at times may unceremoniously label as vernacular, pseudo-classical or folk arts. This despite the verbatim references to the classical musical styles for accompanying the dances. Devoid of vigorous instrumental compositions like Kavita and of songs like Ila, and accompanied by Salagasuda compositions like Dhruva from the Prabandha, the dancer dances with gentle movements of the limbs using the Lasyangas in the Gaundali Vidhi. Sharangdeva has explained about Dhruva songs in detail in Prabandhadhyaya. The special feature is that the Gaundali dancer must be well trained in vocal music. She sings and plays on the Trivali instrument, which is an extremely energetic task requiring plenty of practice and stamina. Some experts feel that playing on the instrument is not to be accepted because they believe that the wearing of Trivali on the shoulder is not a sophisticated sign and rather countryside. The dancer who doesn't exercise her vocal cords is called mute Gaundali or Mooc-Gandali. This is an important point to be noted, that the costume of the Gaundali speaks volumes of the tradition of Karnataka country. Gaundali also figuratively is the meaning for this dance, that is, we can easily identify her by her style of costume and stage demeanor. Sharangdeva has drawn a composite picture of a semblance of styles of dance and given equal footage to the adaptation of the technique proclaimed in the Natyashastra and fashion itself according to the taste, customs and environmental factors. Any text, unless it provides a creative license to the practitioners within the framework of classical discipline, would become redundant over the ages. Gaundali Vidhi is also simultaneously referred to as Deshi Paddhati or belonging to the region or province associated with it, and is directly in contrast with Shuddha Paddhati. The Sampradayikas, who are the members of this troupe, are typically dressed as the people of Karnataka. The Atodyas or musical instruments are played harmoniously at the same time. After that, the Melapaka is rendered in Ekatali and followed by the Gajara composition using any tala. During Upashama section, in Nissaru or Ekatali, the dancer makes an entry with a handful of flowers thrown by her as an offering at the center or the Brahma Mandala. Her movement would be consisting of those which are gracefully towards left, right, forward in a sequence as if she is making salutations in all directions. This is only at the Upashama of Gajara, along with one of the Vadya Prabandhas called Rigoni, accompanied by Addatala, Nessaru and Ekatali, which are the Salagasuda vocal compositions. The dancer goes to the Avatsa and Kavita Vadya Prabandhas in any of the thalas. This is followed by a successive dance performance in various ways accompanied by rigoni and uttavana tadhi thomdhe vadya prabandhas. When the instruments come to a climax and stop, the sthana is indicated by the wind instruments, and the dancer accompanies this by singing together with them. The Gaundali dancer recites the sthayin with the fourfold alaps of the chosen raga. There is a provision for another main singer to do this instead of her as well. When the dhruva is complete with any thala other than mantaka and pratimantha, the jakka is played and the dhruva kanda is constantly sung by a group of singers with melaka. At this time, the lasyangamana is demonstrated because it is especially attractive. When the vocal and instrumental music stop, the various thayas are danced, giving importance to dhruvapadas, which should also be frequently performed. The dancer dances to some of the thayas without words, with the thala alone, and to others with added words with moderate movements, keeping to a time limit which is neither too long nor too short. This dance should be pleasing to the eyes, suffused with sweetness, charm and dignity, and should end in the dhruva portion of the song, while the instrumentalists on the drums conclude by simultaneously playing fast at the kalasha portion. At this conclusion, the dancer must strike a pose and remain frozen as in a shanta or peaceful yogic posture. The above procedure has to be repeated again, and the dancer now performs for the dhruva portion. Abhoga, or the last section of the dhruva, when played by the instrumentalists, the dancer joins with her dance once again. All of them conclude together when the song is coming to an end with fast and vigorous music and dance. The Gaundali must vigorously perform with graceful and elegant chalakas and charis. Sharangdeva says that the drums should be beaten again at the end of the dhruva khanda before the entire recital is brought to an end by all the instruments and the conclusion of the dance is marked. There are still further variations of this extremely specialized provincial dance form. Here again, the mantaka is chosen while the dance is performed the same way as with the dhruva. In mantha and others, the sthayas are not performed by the dancer, who dances only to the dhruva portion. The dance takes the mantha thala in the beginning and progresses with ekatali later. In pratimantha and others, the respective thalas are taken for the dancing. In these salaga songs, the dance must be dhrutalaya or quick tempo. It is to be noted that scholars always recommended slow tempo or vilambita laya in the case of Tandava dance. Sharangdeva concludes his detailed description of the Gaundali Vidhi by saying that such a style of dancing as described to the various rupakas or ekatali of the Salagasoda type will get well known as Gaundali Paddhati. The Sampradayikas in this tradition are dressed in the Karnataka style. Melatur style revived Shuddha Nrittam and Perani, encouraging dancers to stamp the floor softly, focusing on sound created by the bells. Mukkachali is spoken of as a prelude. Perani has been described as a group dance, a solo, and only by males. It is also the name given for pot dance. It involves 5 sections starting with a jester, a Kaivarta composition eulogizing the king, a Jugalbandi which is rhythmic, and ending with a Gita. Jakkini is the piece de resistance, the most important item, and in the opening Mukkachali, the dancer walks on stage behind a face curtain and Mela Prapti is played by the orchestra, followed by Ganesha Shabdam. The curtain opens, a Solkatte Jahangane Mahangane rendered. The dancer takes the flowers, the number of which are also specified, and offers them down in the center, the Brahma Sandhi. After a Nandi Slokam, the Nritta would begin. The starting is always the square position or Chaturashra position, feet apart and elbows bent at right angles. An Alaripu follows, ending with a Karana and a small Korve or a Jadi. This is usually followed by the Pushpanjali. Please refer shlokas 1301 to 1325 where yet another regional style which has received a good amount of attention is the Perani. Although it is well known to be one where the inverted pot is used for dancing, this text has given the distinctness of the style based on the specialized foot movements using a wide scale of rhythmic beats. The dancer is male and has an appealing makeup, somewhere which is between the beautiful and the grotesque. The Peranin dancer has his body smeared with white ash, the head shaved except for a small tuft of hair, wearing the ghargarikas on the shanks with a resonant voice, clever in the 5 elements, says Sharangadeva, and always adept in keeping with the tala and the laya. Sharangadeva names the 5 elements also for the Peranin dancer, which are Ghargara, Vishama, Bhavashraya, Kavicharaka and Gita. Ghargara is characterized by special training in the sound created by the bells. They are of 6 kinds: Padivata, Apadapa, Siripata, Alagapata, Sirihira and Kaluhula. Padivata, the Kuttana movement on the ground of both heels being struck up and down one after the other, or of just one heel, is Padivata. The forepart of the feet is held to the ground. Apatapa, striking the ground with the foot sole in an up and down movement. Siripata, sliding the foot with the sole held to the ground forward and backward one after the other. Alagapata, shaking the feet while lifting it gently in the air. In the Sirihira variety, the shanks are shaken in 2 ways. One foot kept at the back of another and shaken one at a time, and in the other, when both the feet are level on the ground and shaken at the same time. The left leg is stamped at first, and then the right heel makes a turn. This is repeated vice versa in the variety called as Kaluhula. These are known as the Ghargara varieties, which are to be beautifully rendered as per the various thalas. Using the Utpluti Purvakarana in the Vishama element, the Peranin uses his entire body movements to indicate humor and incite it. In this again, he can be free to use such karanas as employed by men in disguise, especially the jumps of a jester. The Bhavashraya and Kavicharaka elements refer to the Uttamanayakas. Hence, the knowledge of this element will make the movement more dignified as compared to the previous. The last element of Gita among the elements of Perani refers to the Salaga songs with their varieties as practiced in the Gaundali Vidhi. Regarding the Paddhati, Sharangadeva says that the troop members accompanying the Peranin should recite Dhe Dhe, which is the sound of the instruments. This is also the case in the Gaundali style. While the 3 padas based on Rigoni and Uttavana Prabandhas are played twice in slow tempo and in Nisarutala, an actor should enter the stage whose head is clean shaven and deliver grotesque speech matching his weird dress and ornaments. As the comic hasya sentiment is evoked while this actor starts dancing, the Peranin makes an entry. After Rigoni Prabandha is concluded, the Peranin starts dancing. This dance will make use of the 5 elements. When the musical instruments stop to have the solo cymbal playing by the taladharas, the Peranin would make the steps typical of Apadapa. During this rendering, the Garugi Tala or Saraswati Kanthabharana is played, and to add to the overall resonance, the instrumentalists produce mandra or deep sounds on mardala and such instruments to match the respective talas. The Peranin must then dance the Vishama element consisting of the Utpluti Karanas to the Nisharu Tala, accompanied by the Kavita Prabandha either in Varna Saratman or Kutani Baddha. Finally, he must demonstrate Rekha, Sthapana, special sounds of the Ghargaras, Gita dance and Rishamajams in tune with Praharana Vadya Prabandha. This would be done for the Salagasudha compositions. Kavichara and Bhavashraya will be the last two elements included in the performance while Abhoga is being played.